How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We just had a financial expert tell us how much Bitcoin you need by certain ages. I want to go through that tweet. It's actually pretty interesting. Also, showing you some other important data here today. Some news about MicroStrategy, some news about a company suing the SEC, and Tom Lee talking about the market as it is right now, where we're going to end the end of the year. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you can see future videos like this as soon as I make them. Stay through to the end of the video so you can see everything. If you want to trade cryptocurrency, there's a link underneath the video to Margex so you can sign up in just a few seconds. You can start trading then and get ready for this next leg of the bull run. So definitely check that out down below in the comments section. Now, let's start here. Tom Lee just talked about what stocks are going to do for the end of the year. This does play a role in what Bitcoin does. Obviously, if people feel richer, if the economy is looking good, if there are certain things the Fed does, then it will push up the stock market. It will also push up Bitcoin's price. So let's watch this just for a minute here.
It was in April on this program that you said you thought the S&P 500 could close at 5,700, maybe even higher. Well, looky here. Look where it is today, right about 5,700. So the maybe higher part is still a part of your formula?
Yes, I think it's part of the formula because, bull markets are supported by strong fundamentals. And this is a case where not only has the economy survived extremely high interest rates, but the Fed is beginning to cut rates. And an economy that has sort of been languishing has been China. And now we have some stimulus and what looks like some bazooka policies that is supporting that region. And we have a lot of cash on the sidelines. So I think that this is a formula for stocks to do pretty well the next 3 to 12 months. And that's.
So the economy still looks pretty good. The Fed's starting to lower rates. China is giving some stimulus out. And then also we have record amounts of cash on the sidelines. What more could you want, right? So he says that this is going to be a good time of the year. We do think that the market's going to end higher than it is right now. So kind of interesting. I like to pay attention to Tom Lee. He was waving the bull flag the entire year when people were bearish. I've been doing the same thing. So I'm pretty excited about the end of the year and the next year moving forward. Of course, be ready for anything. Like, for example, like this. Today, Crypto.com filed suit against SEC to protect the future of crypto in the U.S. There's going to be still some headwinds, right? There's still going to be some headwinds. There's uncertainty around the elections. This is pretty interesting, though. This is after they got Wells notice. It seems like the SEC is going after every single crypto company that they can. One company that seems to continuously go up, though, that's in crypto is MicroStrategy. Right now, Bitcoin is down 1.16% for the day. MicroStrategy is up 4.54%. I'm not sure if it's someone that was shorting that got wiped out or if people are just getting very long MicroStrategy, but the ratio of MSTR to Bitcoin continues to go up. So right now it's got a premium of about a 2.4x or maybe even higher than that right now. When you buy MicroStrategy, you're paying 150% premium, basically, on the underlying Bitcoin. Now, I don't think that the net asset value should be the same as the market cap. They can actually be accretive, so they can buy Bitcoin at a price that actually gives you more Bitcoin per share. So in theory, they should sell at a premium, but 2.5x premium is pretty hefty. So I actually have rolled some of my MicroStrategy position into IBIT. So I think that's just because it is selling at quite a premium. I took some of the position out. I'm keeping some in MicroStrategy, but still allocated towards Bitcoin proxies at the end of the day. Fred Krueger talks about how much Bitcoin you should own. Now, Fred Krueger, just to be clear, pretty big on Twitter, around 80, 90,000 followers, co-author of the Big Bitcoin book. He also is an early stage investor. It looks like he sold a lot of companies to large companies out there. It looks like he sold like 10 companies, something like that. And like I said, he's pretty active on Twitter. He posts a lot of engagement. This is 236,000 views over the last day, a little bit less than a day. He says, how much Bitcoin should you own? Here's my answer. Age 20, you should have 0.1 Bitcoin. Age 35, 1 Bitcoin. Age 50, 10 Bitcoin. I think if you can hit these numbers, you will be good. For 20-year-olds, you need to do whatever you can to get the first 10 million sats. Not easy, but doable. For 35-year-olds, you need 1 Bitcoin more than you need that fancy car. So you need the Bitcoin. You don't need the fancy car or the down payment. In 20 years, that could be worth $10 million. That's your retirement. For 50-year-olds, 10 Bitcoin should be enough to retire in 10 years. Selling some or borrowing against it. Obviously, everyone's in different situations, right? I make that very clear. I do a lot of videos talking about how much Bitcoin you should have to retire, right? Or to make a substantial amount of money that you can roll into maybe other investments or hold for a long time. I think his point here is that you should be focusing on maybe a 55 to 60-year-old retirement. So at age 50, he talks about, 10 Bitcoin should be enough to retire in 10 years. For 35-year-olds, 20 years from now, this Bitcoin could be worth 10 million. He doesn't talk about maybe when you would be able to retire for a 20-year-old, but, maybe we're looking at 30, 40 years, something like that. So just basing off these numbers, this is the one that makes the most obvious, right? 1 Bitcoin, $10 million. Now, in 20 years, let's say inflation is 4%. That $10 million would be worth really like $4.5 to $5 million. That's at inflation of 5%. Really, there's debasement of currency of maybe 10 to 15%. So that $10 million might be worth more like 1.5 million. But of course, some things don't go up in lockstep, right? Some things are fixed, and some things, the government shows only goes up 3 or 4% a year. So it depends on what you think is going to be the inflation rate. But yeah, 1 Bitcoin over the next 20 years, if it becomes a $10 million asset, could be enough to retire, especially depending on where you're going to retire. For 50-year-olds, 10 Bitcoin, 10 years from now, what could that be worth? Okay, well, if we appreciate to $1 million, 10 Bitcoin would be worth 10 million in this example. Then I'm not sure exactly what he's thinking here, but if you're saying you need $10 million again, that indicates that Bitcoin might be worth, 100 million or something when this 20-year-old retires. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Do you think that 0.1 Bitcoin is enough for a 20-year-old to retire on in 35, 40 years? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, if you are bullish, if you want to trade this market, if you're bearish and you want to trade this market, there's the link to Margex. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.